Yasmin, can you please repeat some of the key points we discussed yesterday?
Alright, mechanism of attenuation. So there's three basic ones. There's absorption, reflection, and scattering. Absorption is the main cause. Okay, so it converts into heat. And it's basically sound energy. The molecular vibrates and it turns into heat, which is thermal energy. Alright. Higher frequency, higher attenuation. Deeper structure, lower frequency. So it would be deeper structure, lower frequency.
For deeper structures, we prefer lower frequency transducer. Why?
Because lower attenuation.
Yes, because low attenuation with the lower frequency and more attenuation with high frequency.
High frequency. Okay, and second we have the reflection. So basically, energy bounces back. Alright, this is the echo producer. Okay, now always keep in mind, more reflection, more brighter it is. Okay, so basically what we are looking here is the mismatch of acoustic impedance. Okay, higher mismatch is more reflection. Okay, so this is where we have a matching layer, okay, to reduce the acoustic impedance, where it actually increases transmission and reduces the reflection. Okay, so this is the main thing compared to coupling gel. Okay, so coupling gel does eliminate air between the skin and probe, but the best way to reduce acoustic impedance definitely is going to be through the matching layer. All right. So basically, reflection occurs at a large smooth surface. Attenuation reduces the brightness of image, cause signals gets weaker. Okay, and basically we should remember is density times propagation speed. This is the formula. Okay, and the final one we have the scattering. Scattering basically means energy is spread in all direction. Specular reflection from specular reflector. Okay, and one thing we should always remember is we also have the Rayleigh scatter, which only occurs with the red blood cells. Higher frequency, higher attenuation, higher scattering. Yeah.
Okay, good. What's the difference between specular and diffused scattering?
So specular, meaning energy bounces back at the same amount of energy. Diffuse means certain amount of the energy is actually also converted and it bounces back.
So what's about the difference from the interface this phenomenon happens?
Specular is on a smooth. Diffuse is more of there's a lot of maybe a lot of creaks and also it's uneven.
Okay. So specular reflection, when there is a large smooth boundary and like it's a large amount of reflection and it's very angle dependent. When the angle is perpendicular, then specular reflection happens and the reflected waves form the bright echoes because from the large surfaces, when ultrasound beam hit them at a right angle, they provide a stronger echo. And scattering or diffuse reflection means the surface is uneven and smaller as compared to the wavelength of the sound. So sound bounces back in many directions. In specular, there is only reflection in one direction. In scattering, reflection in many directions. So it creates the speckle pattern seen in like normal organ parenchyma, like liver normal texture, thyroid normal texture. So this is a difference between scattering and the reflection. Okay, now we will discuss the scattering in more detail. So what is a scattering? Scattering is like the texture artist. Imagine shining a flashlight on a perfectly smooth mirror. The light bounces back neatly towards you. But if you shine the flashlight on a very rough wall, the light scatters everywhere, creating a soft glow. So exactly this happens in the scattering. When sound beam hits many small or irregular structures, for example, fat globules or liver parenchyma, the echoes are sent in many different directions instead of straight back. This scattered reflection gives tissue their characteristic texture or echo texture on the screen. So it's why liver look like grainy and thyroid looks speckled. So the texture of the organ we see is mainly due to scattering because echoes goes in many direction. So scattering happens when the reflector size is smaller than the wavelength of the sound. This line is important. In specular, the reflector size is large, like diaphragm is large as compared to the wavelength of the sound. But in scattering, the reflector size is very small as compared to the wavelength of the sound. And the smaller the reflectors and the higher the frequency, the more scattering occurs, which means better image detail, but more attenuation or less attenuation. When there is higher frequency and there is more scattering, so attenuation is increased or decreased?
Increase.
Yes, attenuation is also increased. So high frequency probes act like high definition cameras. They show more fine detail, but they can't see as deep. Penetration is less. So high frequency probes gives us good resolution, but also there is a high attenuation. So that's why penetration is less in high frequency probes. So here we can see the scattering phenomenon. So what happens here? We can see reflections occur in all different directions, and reflector size is also very small in the scattering as compared to the wavelength. So here we can see concept of specular reflector. You can see there is a large reflector present here. So when sound beam hits a reflector, then it bounces back in one direction. And it is almost 90° to the incident sound beam. And here in the diffused reflection, what happens? The reflector is
all around.
Yes, reflector is very small. So scatter is in all different directions. So this is known as diffused reflection, or also known as scattering. Okay, so here we can see main mechanism of the attenuation. Deswin, can you please repeat them?
Okay, absorption is the conversion of sound into heat. For example, we can see this just below, just posterior to a bone, there's always going to be shadowing. Okay, and we have reflection, which is the return of sound at smooth boundaries. For example, the liver capsule. Scattering is random redirection at small irregular surface. This allows us, for example, to visualize parenchyma texture better.
If your SPA exam is near, so I am there to help you. I have prepared 60 detailed SPI lectures covering whole ARDMS SPI content outline in a simple and easiest way possible. And I also have added MCQs in each of the topic. So you will get very easy explanation of all the topics along with the MCQs practice while discussing the topic, and along by the side you will do the MCQs practice. And I will also share all of the slides of every session for the easy review. And then I have MCQs test topic by topic. Like you listen one lecture and then you solve the MCQs of that topic. So you will evaluate your knowledge by this. And I have total 2000 plus MCQs to practice. I also have mock test so you can review your knowledge. And the great thing is there is a one-to-one revision session before the exam so that I can assess your knowledge and I can give you feedback what to improve. And there is exclusive bonus. I will provide you free guidance on ARDMS whole registration process. If you join our sessions, I will guide you about everything. Documentation, ARDMS supply guidance, exam booking procedure, SPI registration, A to Z, everything. So now you can enroll in our whole session. Or if you have already prepared, you just need MCQs practice, or you just want mock tests, or you just need one-to-one revision session before the exam, so you can contact me on my email for all the details.